So Jamie Meehan is my name. I'm the cluster manager of IDEO. So IDEO is the National Advanced Manufacturing Cluster, and we're based on the west side of Ireland, so the nicer side. If anyone has been, you'll probably just maybe to Dublin, get away from Dublin, come over to the west where it's nice. You can go surfing, you can have a couple of pints of Guinness, and then you'll see some of the local cuisine and the Celtic music as well, right? So what I wanted to do this morning was to take you through what is IDEO, and then particularly for the industry participants, some digital and green case studies, okay, and how companies have actually done the digital and green transition, and how can you potentially get involved with some of the activities that we're doing. So just briefly, so look, we're all aware of the manufacturing landscape in Europe, facing challenging times at the moment in terms of supply chain issues, energy crisis situation with the unfortunate war, and then COVID, and then obviously the loss of employees. But manufacturing in Ireland, to give the Irish context, is quite strong, right? So you can see 29% of manufacturing jobs are in high tech. We've about 7 million population, so we're quite a small island, okay? But 260,000 people directly work in manufacturing in Ireland. So 12% of the total employment figures, and it is growing. And what we're starting to see as well is more of a female empowerment in engineering, and the attractiveness in terms of females working in manufacturing, not just in R&D, sales, HR departments, but also on the operator floor, because every company has quotas and gender equality issues to meet as well. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of, and the gentleman from ISME kind of focused on it, but when you're thinking about manufacturing, look at the IFRTEX project as a way to start digital. Okay, so if your understanding is not that of a high level, going through each of the topics, but think global, act local, and connect with cluster organisations, because they can filter down and link you in with decision makers in like-minded SMEs. And in Ireland, we're experiencing the exact same challenges that you presented earlier to companies in FINSA and ISME. So a lot of our members are SMEs, micro-enterprises, and some startups. And they're all experiencing the same challenges that you guys are as well. Okay. Here we did a workshop ourselves with some of the companies, and you can see. So where do we start, Jane? Right? So how can we actually do that? Is there funding available in order to help us along that value chain and journey? So you can see here, digital skills is a major concern for the companies. Having people that actually understand digitalization in the company and that can work on it on a continual basis. Different access to skilled workers, and then financing for these mechanisms. So both nationally and across Europe. And the Change to Twin was mentioned as well. So I'm not sure, is everyone aware of what Change to Twin is? Or is today the first time that you've heard of it? Very quiet. Okay. You can tell I'm Irish, so I'm not quiet. Okay, I talk to the wall. Change to Twin, anyways, is an I4MS Horizon 2020 project initiative. Basically, €10,000 to do a digital assessment, or €90,000 to then do the deployment of your digital twinning on your floor. So what we did was we had 4 companies that were approved in Change to Twin process, and it helped them to really think a bit differently, okay, and to take a step back. What are we doing currently in our manufacturing processes in a digital way, and how can we improve that? And by doing the assessment. Here's one of our members, Nightingale HQ. So they do AI power-based systems and helping factories to become paperless. So here's just a quick video. Sound work, was that?
Yes.
No.
And sound.
Yeah. All good. Look, it doesn't matter. Okay, there's a couple of videos, but I'll skip through. Right, you can look at it yourself. We'll give you the presentation deck afterwards. So you can see here, I wanted to highlight in terms of Ireland and Spain, okay, the digital intensity of particularly SMEs and where they currently are. If you can't see it, as we will share. So in Ireland, kind of a high level of very low digitalization within SMEs. Okay, so you can see here, and then in comparison to the companies then in Spain. So there's quite a similarity between what's happening in an Irish context and a Spanish context then as well. And I think that gives leadership then, okay, how do we improve that? And where do we actually start? And the likes of the IFOTEX project can definitely help and enable that. So here's some quick case studies I'm going to show you. So these two next slides is we did a Fraunhofer digital assessment with 2 of our members, okay, as part of the Digi-Manufacturing project. So we had 40 companies in Digi-Manufacturing, it was a national project in Ireland, that came together from Northern Ireland and then the Republic of Ireland. And they then worked together on a digital assessment and then co-creation projects where they went for funding together off the back of this project. So here you can see EC Precision, their digitalization level. So it's a small company based in Galway on the west of Ireland, about 10 employees, and doing precision engineering for medtech and aviation type products. So their digitalization level is at level 0, right? But now what they've done since this project is they've put in their own ERP system. And that's helped Ethan and the leadership team to go, okay, now we can get a visual representation of how our data is actually working on a machine. And then now we can make better informed decisions. Whereas in comparison with the likes of Kroon that I mentioned earlier, they went from 24 employees back 5-6 years ago to now 120. Okay, so the growth has been quite exponential. And their digitalization level is moving towards that predictive maintenance and digital twinning. Okay? So we can link you in with these companies as well, and that's the assessment of the Fraunhofer. But for me personally, I think this is probably one of the best digital assessments on the market out there. It's open source, it's freely available, and it gives you a visual representation of where your company is at. But if this is just done with leadership team, you're missing out. It needs to be done with production managers, quality managers as a company-wide issue as well, to really get a clear picture of where the company is at. So I would recommend that you look at the Fraunhofer assessment. I'm not going to go through because the video is not working, but just some of the case studies you can see. Just quickly, what I wanted to share was we did an evaluation of the cluster back in December to look at what are the 5 key challenges for IDEOM industry members. And I can imagine these 5 are very prevalent to your companies as well. So I wanted to show that it's not just in Spain, in Catalonia, it's also happening across Europe. So the data visualization and acquisition that the lady spoke about from FINSA is a major issue for some of our members. All right? So we're getting loads of data, but how do we visually represent that? So putting vision systems on your factory floor is a way to do that. And to put it up on a screen so that people can see how the data and how the machines are working. And now they can make more informed decisions. Whether it's color-coded, green, kind of wormy software, which is traffic light colors, green, orange, and red, in terms of the machine working optimally or not. And that helps you to make proactive decisions then as well. Okay, this is the Digi-Manufacturing project that I mentioned. So this is happening again in May and June of this year. And we have the National Manufacturing Conference in Limerick in June. So we're bringing together the companies. They did it last year in order to look at their digital skills and their digital level. But this year is on green, sustainability, decarbonisation of manufacturing, waste management, net zero, and working with consultants then as well to look at how you can actually start your green journey in your factories, because it's a major issue for companies across the world. Right? How do we do that? How do we save time and save money on our green processes? So I'd like to invite you to get involved in Digi-Manufacturing. There will be online options, so you don't have to come over physically. You connect with some of the companies and learn from each other then as well and start collaborating. So here's the companies that were on it last year. Okay, so, and what we the outcome of that was to create Digi-Manufacturing 2 for a green process, but also that each manufacturing company is now looking at hiring an R&D manager, because that's the person who can then look at the future of their business. Because you're so busy with your day-to-day jobs and keeping your head above water, that an R&D manager's position is to look at the future growth of your company. I think that's an integral part to any textile manufacturing company to have in their business. So these are just some quick case studies. again, happy to share afterwards, but these companies here are manufacturing, so these two, EC Precision, Total, and then they were working with some of the solution providers just to start. And now they've moved away from being level 0, level 1 to level 3, which is more about connectivity and understanding. Okay? And that's happened in the last 12 months. But what we did in IDEUM was help them to come together and then get funding to do that, both at a national and at an EU level. Okay, so here are the members, and the gentleman from ASME was talking about kind of the smart motor sensors, and then making more better informed decisions. So some of our members are doing that. So the likes of OE Systems, O'Neill Industrial, so happy to make those links with those companies to explore, can they help your problems in your own business. Okay, so that's just a quick to showcase the event. So anybody that's interested. So we had 1,600 people at this last year, 200 companies exhibiting. There's a technology zone with over 10 million of equipment in the tech zone. Then you have a conference, there's talks, and happy to connect you with that conference as well in June, if it's of interest to your company. Okay, so I'm just going to finish here. These are some of the things that we do in IDEUM with companies. So these two models, in order to understand what's the current trajectory of your company. So we do a digital business canvas model, and then we look at the whole company's picture and where they need to go next. And these are useful because companies then can sit down for an hour or two and see what's the future vision for what they're going to do. Okay? Because they need to become automated, or else they're going to get left behind, because you can't find the talent. It's extremely difficult to get people. So it is moving towards an automated process in textile and manufacturing. So this is just the last, I love this quote. I'd ask people what they wanted Henry Ford, they would have said faster horses. So the gentleman that was talking earlier, he realizes that robotics is a bit away, but is smart enough to know that it is the future of how that business is going to operate. Okay, so thinking differently is really important.